much. It's now recording. Okay, so today we are gonna spend the coming classes. I would say a couple of classes, 2, 3 maybe classes, doing something completely different. Okay, we are gonna start to work with APIs from companies. Okay, because I would imagine that not all of you are interested about coding for doing sound synthesis. Maybe you are more in the business industry of the music. Maybe you are more into connecting people through music. Maybe you are interested about doing applications for mobile devices that are connected to something else rather than just generating your sounds, okay? So what we are gonna do is a small application, a web application that will require connecting to the Spotify API, and we are gonna start to retrieve music, okay? We will be able, for example, to say, give me a band. I don't know, you type Billie Eilish, okay? Give me a band that is similar to this singer. Okay, Katy Perry or Katy Perry or what's her name? Katy Perry or then you can say, give me all the pieces of music that she performed live between 1990, 20, or between 20 and 2005. Okay, and then you get this kind of materials. It's not complex to code. Okay, it's just hard to understand the APIs. Many companies realize in the 80s, in the beginning of these industry companies, the companies were completely hiding all the code. They didn't want to share anything because it was a lot of work and it was private, right? So it was proprietary, and then you didn't want to share all your knowledge. But suddenly they realized that things could change a little bit. And if I open my code to you, then I get free workers, because then a lot of people is going to work for my company, right? Which is the other side of the coin. We will be developing things that at the end target to the Spotify situations. Okay, so the ecosystem of business has changed a lot, but still we can take advantage of many of the things that are happening. Okay, so first of all, then, unless you have something any else to say, unless you want to say something, unless you want to share your pictures from Acapulco, or you want to whatever, I will start. But I just want to hear the voice of some of you guys, just to know that it's not a video what you have in front. I don't know. I'm just joking. I just want to hear you guys. Hey, just something. Mowgli, how are you?
Fine.
Okay, are you interested about this Spotify thing?
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
How many of you, by the way, how many of you have a Spotify?
I don't. I use Apple Music.
I have Spotify.
Okay, I'm starting to see blue hands for people that pay Spotify. So raise your hand or put your blue hand if you pay for Spotify. 9 of 24. Okay.
What was the question, teacher?
If you pay for the Spotify, if you have an account that it's and you pay for the account. So half of the class pay for the account. Now, raise your hand if you use Spotify in the free format. And sorry, and keep your hand high if you pay. I mean, now we are watching for the people that pay and for the people that use Spotify. Interesting. I would imagine that pretty much everybody, and I wouldn't say, I think it's just Jonathan Toscano, don't you use Spotify?
No.
How do you hear music?
I buy
I just buy it, or I use no.
Interesting.
Yes,
Jared,
I just buy
what
it.
about you?
Sorry, teacher.
What about you? Don't you use Spotify?
Yeah, I do. It's only that I'm just arrived to the class.
Okay, I see.
I'm sorry,
What about you,
teacher.
Diana?
No, teacher, I use Tidal.
Oh, interesting. What about Pedro? Pedro Arenas. I don't know. Well, never mind. I think most of the things that we're gonna see on this class, on this exercise, can be extrapolated to any of the other companies. It's very common that all the companies offer the same kind of APIs. Maybe one allows you to do something that the other doesn't, but it's still pretty much they tend to have the same functionality. Okay, so let me share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen. Let me put you guys here. Give me just 1 second. Wiki. And then let me put you here. Here, okay. Okay, that's it. Okay, and then I can share portion of my screen. Okay, here we go. Oh, I have to do this. They're gonna say that I was late. Okay. Okay, here we go. First of all, we all know about Spotify, right? Spotify, and if we, as I think I told you about this some time ago, but if I do developer, okay, I will go to the developer page of Spotify. Okay, this is building experience. For some reason, you want to do something, okay, with that, and that happens with pretty much everything. Facebook, developer, and you will go to the web page where you can get a set of tools for doing different things. If you go to Twitter developer, you will end up in developer Twitter, right? It's pretty common in all of these companies. So, but because we're gonna work with the Spotify, just because it has all these fancy things related to music, first of all, we have to understand this webpage, okay? And this is a pretty nice audio analysis thing. We're gonna start with this audio analysis thing. And then we have also, for example, audio playback, and we have also audio recommendations, okay? And then, as you can see here, there is a very simple, fancy piece of code that is here, okay? I'm gonna grab this piece of code, okay? I'm just gonna grab this piece of code, okay? Just gonna grab this piece of code, and then I will create in Glitch. Again, why Glitch? Because it's just a company that allows us to do a couple of things, and you can see the code, and we can do fancy things. But this can be done in any server. So I'm just starting this. This is gonna be called Spotify API test tech. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, and then I will go to my JavaScript and I will copy, okay, this small piece of code that I have here. Okay, first of all, I have an endpoint. Okay, I don't think this is gonna work as simple as we have it here, but still, let's try to see. We have an endpoint, which is this API. We have an ID for an artist. We have a value that is called a danceability. Okay, this is just a number. And what we are doing here is saying, please connect to this web page. Okay, connect to this web page and give me the following artist. Give me the artist. Here we have, give me 1 second. Here we have a variable, okay? Here we have a variable that is saying, please give me from this artist, okay? And I will talk about this in a second. A target danceability, please give me a target danceability equal to this variable, okay? With the method get, and then we have a user authentication. We're going to talk about that in a second. And then please give me the response as a JSON file. We are also going to talk about what a JSON file is. And then give me all the tracks, okay, all the pieces of music. And for each one of these tracks, please print, okay, please print the name and the artist of that, okay? However, if we go back to here, and then that's it, okay? This is the way it works. However, most of the time we want to work with APIs. This code that we have here is pure HTML, JavaScript, and we can make the things a little bit nicer, but still, let's just check what happens if we do this. We're gonna get a bunch of errors. Let me work on this. Then I open my developer tools, and then we have variables here. One of them says that is this user account token. Okay, so why can we do this? Why would Spotify expose a lot of the information to us? Well, because it's a business model. So if you do something that is nice, it works, is experimental, and only 100 people access this page, then they are not going to charge you anything. But as soon as you start to get maybe 1,000 per day, they are going to start to say, okay, this person is starting to get a lot of attraction. And as soon as you reach the 10,000 per day, they are going to say, you cannot use this unless you pay me, right? So that is one important case that you need to know, okay? Pretty much for all the projects that we create, for all the projects that even can go to small industries, probably you will still be on the free size, right? But still, the first thing that we need to do is create an account. Okay, so if we go to the console, okay, and then we go to our accounts. Where is it? Oh no, okay. First, you have to log in. Okay. I think that you can still be free and do these things as far as I remember. Let me one thing. Okay. These are actually the examples that I
Sure.
Yes.
We need to have an account, right?
Yes. So if you don't have an account, probably I would invite you to create the account. If for some reason you don't want to create account because you, I don't know, if anybody doesn't want to create an account for any particular reason, just let me know raising your hand. Otherwise, if you don't have an account, please create an account, okay? Once that you have the account, okay, once that you have an account, the next thing to do is that you have to create the connection, because you should identify each project with each individual ID. So I'm going to create this account, and this account is going to be called Tech Class 20. We are in 2020. No, 20. What year are we in? 2022.
2021.
20,
21.
21. Oh yeah, that's true. Take class 21. And this is an example for the audio class. Okay. I understand that I will need permission from Spotify before using this app in a commercial project. And I understand and agree with the Spotify developer team of sending some branding guys. You have to say yes to both of them. Okay. Now, once that you have this, okay, this is being recorded here as we are recording, your application Tech Class 2021 has been successfully created. Okay. And as you can see how many people is using my application every day. Not a lot at this point. And then I have two important things. I have the client ID, and then I also the client secret ID. These two numbers are really important, and you should not, for any reason, share this number with anybody, which makes me think that if this video is going to be recorded and uploaded to YouTube, I will have to do something before uploading this video. Okay. And then you have this client ID. Okay. So we also have here a couple of things that I just, for now, we don't care about these ones. Okay. For now, we don't care about these ones. And then I just need this particular number here. Okay. When we have this particular number, I can go back here, and then this is the
teacher. Maybe you, instead of edit the video, you could just press reset button on the secret ID, and you just generate another code.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will do that. That sounds good. Okay. Now let me see if this. Let me go for, where is it? Client ID. Okay. Let me see if this one will work. Although it's still, I don't think it's gonna work. Cannot read property for each of undefined non-script setting. Yes, we cannot do this at the point. Okay, now, but what I want you guys to hear from here is that we are building a web page. We are building something that is in top of here. How many of you know about parameters on the URL? Okay, if we go, for example, to this, I don't know, let me see, any web page, my web page. You can see my page, right? You can see my screen in proper size, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
first
teacher.
of all, if you don't write anything, it is assumed that this thing, it's in the protocol http:// okay? Now, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, most of the professional web pages are now encrypted, which means that they make a transaction and they send a big number in order to do everything encrypted. In order to do that protocol, you will see the difference with an S, okay? S if it's encrypted, without an S if it's not encrypted. Now, after that, you have a semicolon, and then you have a number, which is called 80, okay? That is the port, and the port is like the channels on the TV. You can have the same spectrum, electromagnetic spectrum on the field, on the air, but you have channels. That means that you can have a connection to a server, but each connection in a different port. Many of you who play video games probably change a lot these ports when you start your servers, right? But maybe some of you doesn't know. If you don't see the 80, that is the default port, which means that sometimes you don't see it, okay? You don't see it, but sometimes you see another port. And after that, most of the time, or many times, you can send parameters to a server, okay? And when you start to send parameters to a server, you are doing some things like ID, okay, equal to 45678 ID, and then you have an AND. Oh, sorry, an AND, and where's my AND? and then this is the ID, and then you have the date, for example, and then you have another number, and then you have the location, and then you have another number. This is pretty common. These things, you should think them as variables. The values that are in top of these, you should think them as parameters or variables that you are sending to. Imagine that you have a function. In the same way that we've been coding and we create functions, imagine that in reality what you are doing is calling a function in a server, and these are the parameters for that specific page. So we have 80, and then this is my testing, and then that's it, for example. Okay, so what we can see here is that we are building, okay, a web page where we are, this is what we are doing. We are just building a long call to that particular server. Now, let's just see if we can use a JavaScript Spotify API. Okay. So if we go here, we will see that there are a bunch of libraries, and sometimes it's easier. You don't need to connect and do all the HTML connections because people has create libraries. So if we go here, we will see that there is a bunch of different libraries that you can use. For example, you have, if you want to create an application for a thank you, buddy. If you want to create an application, a real application for the desktop, probably you will want to use a .NET API. If you, and as you can see, this is Clojure. It's another programming language. Elixir, which I have never used. Go, which is fancy, but I have never used. If you want to create an application for an Android, okay, probably you can use this one. If you want to create something for Node.js, for Perl, for PHP, for Python, for Ruby, okay, there are all these different libraries. In our particular case, for the one that we want to use right now, we will be using this Spotify Web API JavaScript. Okay, let's go to it. As we would imagine, it's in GitHub. Okay, and we can go here and check. This is a lightweight wrapper. Wrapper, do you know what a wrapper is in English? A wrapper, when you buy a candy, the candy is a wrap in a paper. So wrapping an envelope. These are basically just envelopes for particular programming languages. For the Spotify API, it includes helper functions, and it includes a lot of things. It does not have any dependency and support callback and promises. It is intended to be run on a browser, but if you want to use Node.js to make the request, please use the Spotify Web API node. Okay, that sounds good. What can you do? Music and podcast metadata, profile, search, playlists, user library, browsers, follow, players, and you can do a lot of this. Okay. If you want to install it, what do you need to do? You need to install it in this particular way, or by making a copy of the source Spotify Web API file. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is go to the source and copy this Spotify Web API JavaScript. So I'm going to the source code, okay? And then I'm just downloading this piece of code. How can I download this piece of code? I just want to download it because I cannot download it in this way. I will rather get all the code and then I will download the zip file. Do you follow what I'm doing?
Yes.
Once that I have this Spotify here, I will extract it here. And then that's going to be an easy way for getting the file that this developer is telling me, which is this Spotify Web API library. Okay, so I will go back to this piece of code that we were using just for testing a little bit of the things. And then I'm going to drag this Spotify here which I think if I put it here, now I have this Spotify Web API. And as you can see, it is a huge. Look at this. This is to be a real programming is coding 2,000 lines of code just for doing a small tiny wrapper. Okay, so if we go back to our index at this particular point, as we've been doing all the time, I'm going to say bye-bye to all of this because I don't care about this. Bye-bye to all of this. Okay, and then my script, before doing my script, I'm going to include also my other code that is here, right? I'm going to remove the div here, and then I'm going to put the code that I have here. And basically what I'm gonna do in order to do this really fast is I'm gonna copy this, copy escape, and then I'm gonna put this on here. You follow what I'm doing? Yes.
Yes.
Basically what I did is I'm just following this tutorial. I'm just following the tutorial of here, saying what do you need to do in order to install the AP and install the library that we need to do. Okay, the next thing that seems to be happening is here that we need a variable here in order to turn on the Spotify API. So I will go back here, and then I will go to my script, and I will say bye-bye to all of this piece of code that these guys were giving, and I'm just creating a new variable, Spotify API, new Spotify Web API, and then I'm just gonna be console.log, and then I will test if I do have something here. If I have null or void or whatever, that means that I'm not loading my library in a proper way. So first of all, let me just close this so I don't get confused with anything. And that's it. Okay, then I refresh, and as you can see here, now I do have a constructor. That means that this thing is working. Okay, the code that I have here seems to be working. Okay, and it's just a constructor. So let's go back to our piece of code here, because it says if you have an access token, you can set it doing the following. Okay, so let's go and then let's grab the Spotify set access token. I will go to here, and then I will set the Spotify set access token, and which is the token that I want to get is this one, the token that I want to. Your access token is this one, your client ID is this one. So I'm putting this here, okay? Okay, now what's next? Okay. When you set an access token, it will be used for signing your request. An access token is required for all endpoints. If you want to use Promise Library, you can set this. Here is an example. This is pretty nice. Here you can see how to get basic information using a function like get artist albums. Okay, let's cross fingers and check if this is working properly. So I will get this piece of code, and then I will put this thing here, and let's cross fingers that this thing is working. I will remove this piece of code, and then I will go back here and refresh. And we have some errors here, right? Okay, let's see what is going on here. Here, the mistake that we are having here, the mistakes that we are having, let's focus only on the first mistake. And it's saying that there is a Spotify version 1 artist connection album, and we got a 401 message. Can anybody tell me what the 401 message is in the, is unauthorized? El código indica que la petición no ha sido ejecutada porque carece de credenciales válidas para el recurso. Okay, so does that make sense? I don't know why, because this should be fine. Okay, okay, let's check a couple of things here. We don't care about these examples. We don't care about this one. Getting user information. Maybe my access token is wrong. Where is my access token? Let me check if this is the code, if I'm making this wrong. And then, no, 401. Let's keep moving on with this then. Maybe they changed the versions, so we just have to go and check a couple of things here. This is 4 months ago, and this was created 4 months ago. And we have version 1.5.1, which is from August 3 of 2000, August 2020. I think this should be fine. I think this should be fine. So that's not the problem. Let's then check a couple of things here. Let's add this one just for security. And then let's go back to this one. Okay, this is not. Oh, what's going on here? They must have changed because the last few months ago it was working without any problem. So let's go just check this person. And this person has a small project. Let's go to check this one just for 1 second, okay? Can you see this web page? Okay, this karaoke is using the web audio. No, this is just using the web audio API, but it's not using the Spotify. So let's check for this one. No, they changed something. Okay. Can you do what I have up to now, up to here, please, in the meantime?
Okay.
I'll resume recording. Okay, so basically, because the example that we are getting, it's not allowing the connection, okay? What we will do is using the code that we solved the semester that in audio programming class, right? In the audio programming class. How many of you took that class? Jared, who else was in that class?
From here, I don't know. I don't see anyone.
Okay.
No. I don't see anyone.
Okay, so the thing that seems to be different from the code, and it's this one, is the connection to the response token. Okay, so it seems that as soon as we have this part, okay, I will go back to my code. I will remove the code that we have here just for now. Okay, and then I will have this small Spotify API get token, then function response Spotify sex get token. Okay, and we will see what happens when we run this in a new window. Get token is not a function. That's not good. Was Jared this code working? Where did you test it the last time?
The last time we ran it on MAMP, do you remember?
Yes. No, I mean, when was the last time that you run it and it was working?
Like a year ago. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, just strict. Okay, let's check this in a new window. Hi there. Script 3 get token is not a function. Get token is not a Spotify. What is going on here? Okay, I'm gonna do a couple of tests. I'm gonna graph the code that class was in that class we were working. I'm opening Atom. I'm creating a new window in Atom. Okay, I will create a folder in Atom, and in my desktop I will create a folder that is called audio test. Okay, I will move this one to the audio test. So that means that audio test has this one. I'm gonna turn on a server. I will open this code, and then I will open this developer tool. Oh, the code should be the same one, right? Do you have the this one? Jared, do you have the Spotify Web API GS?
I think so. Let me check. Yes, I have it.
Can you also share that file, please?
Ready.
Okay, the problem has been found. Okay, for some reason, now let me stop this. Okay, that's it. Okay, the version that I have here, the version that I have here on the GitHub, the version that I downloaded for this JavaScript wrapper, which was created on this version, okay, this particular version has changes that has been not described on the documentation. Okay, so when we were working with these, probably we were working in a version, I don't know which version was, but a lot of things change according to that in this coming year, and then everything was messed up in the documentation. So that's the problems with these public codes. Sometimes that is a problem. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share you this sound file. Oh, actually, you can download it. Everybody can download it, right? Yes, I think everybody can download it, but just give me a second. Then let's go back to the class. Let's go back to the explanation because I want you to do this. So again, rewind the last 10 minutes of the class, please. Rewind the last 10 minutes of the class. What I'm now doing is that in this particular case, I'm removing, okay? I am removing the library, okay? I'm removing the library, okay, that I download, and I will upload, okay, an older version for the Spotify, which in this particular case, I just name it, or actually to be more precise, I will rename it as Spotify web.api. Okay, but I will call this one version 1. For us, will be the version 1, so we don't get messed up with a new version. Okay, this particular one is called Spotify Web API version 1. So now that we have this, I can easily go back to my index, and this, I'm renaming this to be 1. Okay, so that should be fine. And now in this header that we have here, I go to my script, and then now this should be working fine. Let's cross fingers and see if we can get information with the code that this person was creating, which was this one, right? So I go back here and let's check if the example that this person was providing is still working. So I will grab this one. I will put it here. I will go to here. Oh, get artist albums. Still, get artist albums is not a function. So I will remove these ones, and I will go to the example that we have for now. Search here. Give me just 1 second. Then I will go to here. Okay. Search for tracks, query input Python trim. I don't want to search for tracks in this particular case. I want to search for, yes, search for tracks for search tracks. Okay, what do we want to search? We want to search for, why are the examples here not working? Get artist albums. is not a function. This is not good. Let's go back to the examples of a previous stable branch. Okay, let's go through this one. And instead of having this, I will search for a track. What can we search for a track? A piece of a song for a track. Can you give me the name of a song that you like a lot?
We will rock it.
Which one?
Gitana.
Gitana, do you write it like that?
Yes.
Okay, so we want to do this, and then I want to close my function, and then my parenthesis, my function here, and this one is closing here. Okay. Hmm. Let's write all of this code here. So I'm gonna put this one here, and then I will go to this one, and then I will put two forms, and this one here, and then I will go to the index, and then I will put this in the body. Okay. Okay. why is our code working here and our code not working on glitch? Because if I run this code directly here, this works smoothly. If I go here and then I run this one on my local server, it works really fine. If I go to my local host, and then here I search for, I don't know, for something else. I search here for Gitana. It's working. Which is not good. I search for, is this the Gitana that you were talking about?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So why is this code working on here and it's not working on my glitch? I just want you guys to have this working on glitch. So we should fix this in a few seconds. We have the form, and then we have this, and then we have the scripts at the end. We have the scripts at the end. So maybe that could be the problem. After the piece at the end of the body. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now glitch is working. Okay. Couple of things that were happening right now is that the scripts, because I want to use the add listener in my object, the objects should exist, okay? And the reason for that is that that's why I need to have this script at the end of the form, okay? But this one in particular, this could be at the beginning of my code as I would imagine. Let's type yes. No, this one didn't work. Let's try again Gitana. And then this one is working, okay? Okay, so again, let's focus again. And I'm gonna start to explain a couple of things that are happening here. As we well know, we have an index HTML and we have two different JavaScripts, okay? We have JavaScript and then the library that we just download, which is the older version, just to check what is happening with the new version, okay? So we have the script of our code and we have the index. In the index, we are loading the library as we've been doing a lot of times. And then we have our script here. Inside our code, we have a form, okay? A form is the one that you use when you want to have inputs as type, and it has an ID called query, and then it has a placeholder that we are gonna change, and we're gonna set here, select type name of song, type the name of a song, okay? And then the input button for the submit, which is search track, search song. I'm gonna see that you can change any kind of things. And we have also an ID that is the tempo tag, okay? That is straightforward. Now let's check what is happening in the code that we have. First of all, I want to know if I can remove the use here or not. And then I'm gonna hit seal for another. Yes, I don't need it. And it's working, okay? So we are mixing two things in this code, which is something that I didn't, to be honest, want to do in this class today, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem for us at this point, okay? First of all, we have our audio context as we know. Then we have what we were fixing and fighting in the last half an hour, which is the Spotify API. Basically saying, please connect and please use the Spotify API. Then line 9, we have get the object query input, which is the element in the web page, as you well know, and also give me the tempo tag. Give me 2 elements of my web page. Give me, please, 2 elements of my web page, a reference to them, okay? And then we're saying, please, from the form, add a listener as we did with the buttons for the submit form. And once that some person hits the form, please do all these things. Once that I press the form, please do all the code that is here, okay? So each time that I press this button, each time that I press this button, I will start to do all the things that are from line 13 to line 47. What is exactly what I want to do? Prevent the default. So you can Google a little bit about this one. This one will prevent us for reloading the web page, okay? If the audio context doesn't exist, I will create it. We know about that. The new things are this one. For the API, with using this library, please search for tracks, okay? And this query input value dot trim, okay? Can anybody tell me what are we getting there?
A string?
Yeah, but what string is exactly the one that we have in here? This is query input.
¿Corta la canción o la...?
A word?
Yeah, but what are we, which word?
The name of the song,
Which is coming from where?
the user.
Yes, because it's coming from here. Basically, it's give me the content that is here. If I type aba, 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 aba.
It is like the query selector of the sliders.
Exactly. Good point. Do you remember the slider when you were coding sliders, you had dot value? And you were getting the value of the slider? In this particular case, you are getting the value of the space where you can type. Give me the value. And then we are calling the function trim. Trim just remove white spaces from the beginning and the end of the string. So if the person just type, for example, Gitana, space, we're going to try to find a song called Gitana, space, and we're not going to find it. So the trim will remove all the white space that could be accidentally written, okay? And then we are limiting this to only one song. Please give me only one song. Once that you are done giving me that songs from Spotify, okay, please do the following. Give me the results, okay? The track is what I get from the results, the track, the items 0. Give me, because our results could be an array. Actually, when you search for a songs, there are many songs with the same name. But in this particular example, we are just trying to get one song. So please give me the songs. And then from this track, please give me the preview URL. So actually, that's why we are not using, in this particular example, we are not using the client ID because we are just getting the preview URL, okay? We are working with only with previews, which are 30 seconds as far as I remember, right? So we get the direction that Spotify has for that particular 30 seconds example of the song, okay? And then the rest of this the HTML request, connect, give me the audio. Once that you are loaded, please decode the audio context, add the audio context to a buffer, connect the buffer to the destination, and start playing the audio, okay? All of this is just things that you already know about the audio. And then here there are a couple of things that I do think are a little bit more interesting for now, which is the Spotify give me for that particular song all the features of the audio. You're watching my screen, right?
Yes.
Give me the loudness, give me the tempo, okay? And please add to the tempo tag, okay? Give me, it's equal to the audio features. Basically, that's what is happening in the tempo tag. The tempo tag is also something that we do have here. We have a paragraph with an ID tempo tag that has nothing, okay? Actually, I can change this. This has nothing right now, okay? However, now this has nothing right now. When I search for a song, I will search for La Bamba, okay? And I search for the song, okay? There is no link for La Bamba, okay? So what about another song? I don't know, Cielo Rojo. I will see if we have. Okay, so let's stop this. Otherwise, we're not gonna finish in the class in a good manner. Okay, so we have here, as you can see, we replace the tag from here, okay? So it is fancy, it's nice because we can get a lot of information from that particular song. Do you follow what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, now, I will just for now, okay? Just for now, because I didn't want to mix the audio with the Spotify connections. Just for now, I will remove all the things related with the, where were we? With the web audio API. So I will remove the audio context, okay? I will remove the audio context from here. I will remove the audio context from here. I will remove the download from the URL. I will remove the start playing request, which is up to here, okay? And then I will keep these parts here. I hope I didn't mess up anything. Then get the functions, and then, yes, that's it, okay? So, okay, now, another important thing that I want you to see is this one. Instead of doing the console, the tempo tag for now, I will remove the tempo tag for now. Or well, actually not. I will remove this console log. And then I will remove also this console log. And I want you guys to see all the features that you can retrieve from a particular song, okay? Now, let's search for another song that we could bad guy, okay? From this particular song, okay, these are the different elements that we can get. We can get how acoustic is this piece, okay? What does that mean? We are getting information about, that's weird, 0.3. That means that heavy metal maybe is less acoustic with electronic music. And this because it has a bass, boom, 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 boom. And it has also voices, has some acoustics, okay? How danceability, 0.71. We talk about that in one of our classes, being 0, something that is very hard to dance, and 1, something that has a very pulse beating. The duration of the piece in milliseconds. How much energy does it has? the ID of the piece, instrumentalness, how much instruments have, the key, okay? Look at this, the key tone. If it's 7, probably 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's in Z, it's in G, okay? It's in G. If it's a live piece, no, it's not. The loudness, the mode, where 0 is 1 is major, I think, and 0 is minor. Speechness, if it has voices. The tempo, 135 BPM, 4/4. The reference to the track, okay. The type and the URI of that particular news, and that's it. So these are different elements that we can obtain from that, okay. But another one that is pretty nice is the analysis URL. I will go to this particular URL. How can I get it? Let's see what happens if I open this file. Just for curiosity, what will happen if I open this? Oh, I won't be able to get it directly without my token. So we will go back in a second to do that. Okay. You follow this.
Yes.
Okay, now what I want you to do, what time is it? Can you tell me? What? Oh, 8:27. Okay, well, half an hour and we have this working. It's fine, it's good. But what I want you guys to see is that we have access to a lot of information that could be very useful for doing, for example, visualizations. For example, you can try to tie two pieces that has the same BPM and put one on the left screen and the other on the right, for example. Or you can do a very sophisticated DJ system where you search for a song and then you search for a similar song in terms of tonality and then you glue them, for example. But for now, we only have this small piece of code where we have the connection, okay? Now, what happened if I change the limit of this? Because now we are not playing anything. And I will say, give me, okay, give me 10 elements for this. Oh, because in this particular function, we only have, okay, we are going to limit this to 10 pieces. Okay. And then the results, we are going to go through all of them. So I will go. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
For a song or for a single song in results, okay, for a single song in results, I will do the all of this code. So basically what I want to put inside here are the different songs that are here: results, tracks, items. No, I prefer, well, let's check something here, and then I will go console.log, and I will go to the single song to see if we get if we get different songs to this. Okay. And then let's search for a song that can be probably, oh, Bésame Mucho. Bésame Mucho, who has like 1,000 set of tracks. Okay, it's giving us just one collection of tracks. Okay, so from the results, okay, so let's check a little bit for here. Console.log results. And then I go again to Bésame Mucho, Bésame Mucho. And then we have a set of tracks, and then we have items, and here we have the 10 different pieces for that particular set of audios. So it's in tracks, items, tracks, items. Okay, so probably if we go to for single in results dot tracks dot items, items, and then I have here single song. Okay, let's go back here to Bésame Mucho, or well, Bésame Mucho, and then we have these. Oh, these are just numbers. So the best, okay, single song, and then we copy this particular piece of code here, and then we use single song here, and then go again to Bésame Mucho, and that's it. Now we have the information for the last, for 10 of these particular songs, okay? For these particular songs, some of them, all of them with the same mode, but some of them in different tonalities. Can you see this? This one is in G and this one is in D, for example, okay? And then, yes, where is the, where, okay, that's it. Okay, and these are these pieces. Can you hear me?
Yes.
One version of the Bésame Mucho. Second version. And a bunch of different songs, okay? So we're gonna make a break, but what I want you to do is understanding the potential of these techniques, okay? I want you to see that you can do a lot of things that are not present in the regular communities, okay? Well, you can create, for example, an application. This could be a radio station. You can do a radio station that search for songs in particular manners, okay? You can do a playlist that is tied to the running mode that you're running in a gym, okay? And then according to the, for example, I think I told you about that other class, you can make an application for a mobile device that is getting the accelerometer signal of the movement, and then you get the BPM of the speed in which this person is running, and then you can go to the playlist of the person that is doing the exercise and just put music that is on that tempo, okay? Or you can do a karaoke system, which is also something very interesting to do. You just can remove the voices, not completely, but you can do a trick in order to remove the voices. You can do, what else? You can do visualizations of music. You can get some information about that. So is it fine if we make a break of 10 minutes and we come back?
Yes.
Okay, see you here in 10 minutes. Okay, are we back?
Yes.
Nice.
Hello.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher. Hi.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. Okay, so what I want you to do now is that I want you to do a visualization with information of the song that you are getting, okay? So we know from, oh, I'm not sharing my screen. And I want to know, do you prefer to work by teams or do you work to work alone?
In Teams.
In teams?
Yes.
Okay, what I want you to do is the following. You know how to implement graphical information and you know how to implement text, right? I want you to come up in the coming, I don't know, in the coming 45 minutes with some information, okay? You will get this code and you will modify your own, you will make a copy of this one that you have, okay? And with the things that we have here, actually be careful because I'm going to limit this to only one. Otherwise, this could be, or actually you can do it with all of them if you want. Okay. But what I want you to do is actually, I'm going to remove this tempo tag. Okay. I'm removing the tempo tag from here. Okay. The tempo tag is gone. Okay. So what I want you to do is that when I press the search for, and then I search for Bésame Mucho, okay, I will get this information, okay? I will get this information. I want you guys to do a graphical representation of this material, okay? A little bit, of course, in 45 minutes, you cannot do something like this, but even for JavaScript D5, DS, D3. Okay, this is a JavaScript library for visualization. Okay, these things give you information about different materials. It's pretty fancy, it's pretty complex, and you can do this type of visual representations. Okay, this is in live. Okay, this give you information about something. Okay, as you can see it here, this is all the code that you need in order to generate a chart like this one. I want you guys to do something like this, but with the P5 library that we know. Okay, so what do you need to do? Import the P5, okay, create a canvas, and once that you have the canvas, I want that once that you are here, you get information, these audio features. You will use these audio features in order to do something with these materials. What do you have? You have, this is not a good one. This is not. You have this, all of this information, okay? So maybe you can set a tonality and then you can do liveness and then you can have the mode if it's major or minor. Maybe if it's major, you decide that the circle is gonna be red, okay? If it's minor, it's gonna be blue. The tempo, for example, the tempo could be also a bar, okay? The height or a bar is representing the tempo. The time signature could be also, you can write text for example, and things like that. Do you understand what I'm asking you guys to do?
Yes.
Do you find it feasible?
We'll try.
Do you have any question about what you have to do right now?
No.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
How do you get a specific information for the audio features?
Oh, the audio features, as you can see, is an object in JavaScript, for example, and here in the audio features, you have all of them, okay? So if you want to do something with one particular feature, probably, well, you will have to do here the import P5 and all the things that we've been doing before, okay? And then probably you will have here then in addition to this, you will have the function draw or the function setup. Do you remember the function setup? And then you will have also the function draw, and probably in here, okay? And then probably you want to have a global variable audio data, right? And then once that you get the audio features, probably you want to say, or actually you can say audio features, audio data, and then you will have something here like audio data. It's gonna be equal to audio features, okay? In that way, you will have access inside the draw function to the information that is coming from here. And how can you get something? For example, here you will do now audio data dot where is it?
Tempo.tensibility.
Yeah, now it's gone because we don't have audio data danceability or mode. Okay. So you just have to add dot and whatever of the features that you need.
Okay, so the only thing that you did is to make a global variable.
The only thing that I did was creating a global variable, because in that way I can use that information that is coming from here and using that inside my draw.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so if I search, yeah, that's it. Okay. So, okay, let's make this, let's see what you can do in half an hour, because we still have to do a couple of things before the end, before the class is over, but